Previously on PolyArmoury.
And you don't need to keep making patties out of people. You can actually use brat like it's supposed to be.
Where do we get the rats from?
That's a very good question. I don't know, but that's something we can figure out together right here, right now. We do have a scrytome, so we can make some calls to the right people.
You know the right people then?
I don't know the right people, but I can find the right people. Do you guys still want to work here?
I suppose it's better than being a slave if we kind of all own the place.
It's like a democracy.
Oh, what?
Let me explain democracy to you, right?
And you explain democracy to them.
I do actually.
Using the ketchup, I'm basically going to draw an elaborate, big summoning circle just in ketchup on the ground in this office. And I sit next to it, close my eyes, and I just try and empty my mind so that it is just dark and empty. And I try and remind myself, just trying to get myself into a mental equivalent of, the bottom of a miles deep hole.
You feel yourself dropping out of the world into one of the lower planes, into the fugue plane, where you long ago first encountered the great eater of the world, the mother of the night parade. She is the night serpent.
I am once a slave, now joining those who would starve me.
Hey! How are you, Dendar?
I blame those lazy, greedy elves. They are stealing my food. They have made the fungus more palatable. What was once a rite of passage for a chosen few is now being supplied to all and sundry.
I'm not quite there yet, but once I've trained enough, there is something I can maybe do to help, in that I can eventually, with your help as my patron, learn to cast fear and bring nightmares to people at will. I know that that's a promise for the future, as is dealing with these elves and what they're denying you, but I can't fix this without your help.
If you truly wish to regain my favour, I suggest you stop the flow of fungus. Then we shall consider your position.
I will do what I can, and we shall speak again.
See that you do not disappoint me again.
Hey,
All right,
AJ.
Brilmara.
Hey,
Aiden.
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Just recovering after last fairy forest.
Are there any things I can be practicing that are going to help me to get this magic in tune? Have you got any warm up routines or anything like that? Any sort of exercises I should be trying?
It's about connecting with other people and sharing that love in performance. I think the first spell I ever learnt was Cure Wounds. Focusing on the source of your magic, which was previously your connection to your dark eldritch god, which was symbolised through your tattoos. Your one remaining vibrant tattoo, which we discussed last week.
Yes, the totally not a top-down view of a person dabbing tattoo.
You cast a dab, and which you've said you end in a kiss, towards Madame Valerie, and for 17, welcome to level 1 dab wizardry.
Hey.
Oh,
You cast
heck.
Cure Wounds. I don't think you'd be terribly happy to see me with the news I've got.
What kind of news we talking?
I went to Severton to try and find the family songbook, but some bastards nicked it.
Hey, so
Sorry, I got a bit of a cough.
some people got kicked out the fairy forest that had a book that might be what you're looking for.
It was 2 orcs and a bugbear in a very uncomfortable looking suit.
There is a song in there that talks about a Goyle away. It's a bad songbook. We're all basically historians. You trundle into Mordtown and you notice just a lot of dirt. There's bottles everywhere. These crappy bottles everywhere. You follow through to the back room and downstairs to where the little dock is. Usually this is where you used to get stock deliveries in, but the water level is barely a trickle. It's just some silty mud about 8 feet down. There's almost no river here at all. So, as you can see, it's not exactly as practical as it used to be.
Oh, shit.
And in the middle of the room, next to a large point of obsidian, which is crackling with green lightning and spreading out to these these growing pods around the room is Gorthane.
I don't know if you've noticed the big old build-up of glass bottles outside.
I've not been out an awful lot. Very busy with this lot.
Yeah, that's fair enough. We're thinking maybe the glass, if you could find a way of like melting it down again, it could be really useful for something.
I could always use more glass, making all these fats to grow more flesh columns.
Yeah.
Fighting death and human horse, Thorson tried to kill them all. They escaped the vile moor. Now PolyArmoury store. PolyArmoury.
That's fucking amazing.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to Stone Monkey Radio's roleplay series, PolyArmoury. I am Jane Magnet, and I am the mistress of this dungeon. Joining me today to be punished until they scream the safe word, which today is perspiration, are Laura Kate Dale.
I'm slowly dying, but we're gonna go on an adventure.
The show must go on. And Astrid Johnson.
I wrote a news story today about a man that stole from a petrol station last night. They went in with a catapult, and all they stole was a chocolate bar.
Okay.
Well, that
Yeah,
is
I know,
some
right?
low-scale crime.
Hi, everyone!
I mean, usually it's just hello, and then what have you been up to? But obviously there's some chocolate larceny going on.
Yeah.
A little bit of garage scrumping,
Yeah.
if that's what you can call it. So, Laura, what have you been up to, apart from dying slowly?
Apart from dying slowly for pretty much a week straight, I wrote some stuff for Kotaku this week about Wolfenstein. There's a new Wolfenstein game in it, and in it you kill a bunch of Nazis. And I write about how, killing Nazis in video games used to be just a very simple pleasure that just everyone could agree was quite fun. And all them politics in video games now. But I also wrote some stuff about how this Wolfenstein game is unintentionally or intentionally drawing some quite apt parallels to modern day America in terms of how apathy towards Nazi attitudes can allow Nazi attitudes to grow. So I did that. I tried not to die for a week from this illness that keeps trying to batter me around. I did a book signing with Ashens. That was quite fun. Signed a bunch of copies of his book that I contributed some words to, Attack of the Flickering Skeletons, and I think that's about it. I think that was my week.
Excellent. And Astrid, what have you been up to?
Well, Oh, sorry. My fairy lights just blinked. I think Will Byers is trying to contact me.
Okay.
No, they stopped. It's okay.
Okay, let me know if the Demogorgon starts to come through the wall. We'll take a
I'm
pause.
keeping an eye out. I'll make sure the posters on my wall don't stop rumbling because of holes behind them. This week I have been doing a lot of university work, really. We've had a couple of assessed news days, which has been very exciting, and that's why I wrote the story about what we called Kit Kat burglar. That story was full of puns. It's been an interesting week. I did a little review on Valhalla, finally, VA-11 Hall A. It's a cyberpunk bartending game. Very fun. You should go check that out. What else have I been doing? A lot of Twitter. I've been tweeting a lot. That's been good. I've not really been doing much outside of the university this week. It's been a chill week.
Nice.
What have you been up to this week, Jane?
Yeah, what have you been up to?
What have I been up to? I had a really good idea for a pun this morning that will probably form most of the rest of this show.
Excellent.
The only thing we know about this pun is that potentially you are more proud of this than you are of Mordtown.
And you have no idea how proud of Mordtown.
Oh, I'm aware how proud you are of Mordtown. I am very ready for whatever is coming.
Indeedy.
Well,
Same.
we shall see. We shall see what occurs, what comes in the mail. God, I hate
Exciting
intro.
times.
Sorry. It's horrible when you find something on Google Images and you're like, yes, I want to look at that. Oh, it's on Pinterest. I'm not on Pinterest, and I have no Pinterest in Pinterest.
Yeah.
So we'll not be signing up. Oh, but you can't look at our links. Well, fuck you, Pinterest.
That's fucking rude, right?
So rude.
Rude.
So you head along the road that most closely follows the river, trying to see if you can find where the Nestler's corporation may keep their factory or production, which you understand to be somewhere along the river to Groybon, incidentally. Eventually, you come to a large set of double doors, and directly above this, in very nicely done red paint, is a logo that says Nestler's. It's a privilege.
Oh.
This
rude.
is gonna go. Oh, this is gonna be fun.
Right. Cracks knuckles, because I'm not going to do that on the recording, because I know it doesn't sound very nice. Let's, inspect.
Let's liberate some water.
Oh shit, we're going to liberate some water. The people's water. Okay.
So here's the thing. I'm gonna, normally I'm all for being the one who barges in front and center of all these things, but I'm gonna need you to take the lead on this one because I'm still working out how to do anything right now. So,
That's all good. Is there a front door to this establishment?
There is the door that I just told you about. Yes, the big double door.
I am perceptive. I'd like to knock on the door, please.
You knock on the door, and after a few moments, you hear what sounds like some kind of brace or bolt being lifted, and a lizard folk peers around the door. He is wearing a pair of leather trousers with a hole for his tail to poke through. There is a club slung at his waist belt, and he looks at you like, "What do you want?"
Health inspectors. Deception check. I got a natural 20 on my deception check.
Mr. Croke sent you. Yes, yeah. Well, please come in. You want to see the boss.
That should be fine.
He opens the door and ushers I can't believe that works either.
See,
Sorry.
A natural 20 will do wonders for your ability to get shit done.
I'm so proud of myself.
I've got no fucking idea how this is going to go now. Okay.
Well,
Don't you just love the collaborative nature of D&D when you plan out a story and then someone rolls a nat 20?
Absolutely. So I've got ways around this.
fucking hell.
I can work around this.
Okay,
So Aiden's going to wait for you on the cart. You notice that Puff is also just sitting on the bench of the cart as well. And he doesn't seem at all interested in anything you're doing.
Hey, don't wanna come help out, Puff?
He snorts in a slightly derisive manner. And the door is being held open for the three of you.
I guess the three of us go in.
I walk in with confidence.
Okay, you go in, and almost immediately you're greeted by a large box cart. You see that on the side of it again, it announces that it's in red in the same font that you saw on the sign outside. It says Nestler's Spring. Finest Nestler spring water. And there are a number of boxes just to your right, all stacked up. And then you see some kind of conveyor belt that's being powered by a goblin just pushing around in circles. There are two other goblins. One appears to be loading glass bottles out of boxes onto the conveyor belt, and the other one is unloading full glass bottles into a different box, ready to be shipped out. At the far end of the room, you see a pen where the pigs are being kept. Obviously, they'll be ready when the cart is due to leave. And the lizard folk guard leads you to an office, which is marked manager. You can see that there is a sort of one of those normal vent blinds, so that the manager there could sort of peek through and check on the staff. The lizard folk knocks on the door, and you hear a sort of gruff,
Come in.
Excellent. I enter.
And I follow.
You enter with Thrall in tow. You see a small office with a large back chair, quite a nice swivel chair, sat in front of a quite large desk. And there's a number of papers and files on the desk. There are 2 very low-down, cheap-looking seats sat in front of the desk. And there's not really much else in here apart from a bugbear in a business suit. This suit is certainly cut much better than the one you saw on the bugbear at Fairy Forest.
Health inspectors. Health inspectors, is it?
I'm glad you clarified that the pronunciation there was health inspectors, because just out of character, I was very tempted to be, yes, I'm here to inspect your elves.
Sexy.
Health
yes,
inspectors.
yeah, sorry, just doing the job, you know how it is.
Sent by Mr. Croke just to make sure everything is in order.
Mr. Croke. I'm not sure why Mr. Croke would feel the need to inspect anybody's health around here. This is most unusual. I better give him a call.
And he pulls out his scrytome.
See, here's the deal. If a product...
Shit!
No, don't shout shit.
No, I didn't. That was in my head. That was
Internally
a
screamed shit.
That... Look, if a product is making people unwell, people buy less of it. You want to have people who are well enough from a product that they continue to purchase it. Like, it's simple enough. Simple enough idea, isn't it?
That doesn't sound anything like Mr. Croke. Who the bloody hell are you?
Shit run!
Your mum!
No,
Fires the crossbow.
I don't shout shit run. So, as a quick just question to the DM, I've completely forgotten since last week, which spells do I currently have? It's my cantrips.
You have your cantrips.
Cantrips and cure wounds.
And cure wounds.
Okay. I'm gonna roll intimidation, with the intention of basically, like, I want to go and pin this guy on a wall and be like, so, you look here, you, very angrily, and, you know, hopefully regain some control over this situation. 18. Is 18 intimidating enough?
This is wisdom. Yeah, but that is certainly intimidated.
So I intimidate them and just go, do you really want to be informing people that we're here? Because that breaks the whole ethics code of doing health inspection, and you know what happens to people who mess with health inspectors? Well, there's not much health of them left to get inspected.
I'm just very confused. Mr. Croke doesn't usually care about health.
Look, right, okay, obviously we're not really health inspectors.
No, why?
We've just been sent...
I intimidated them well.
They're still intimidated. They're scared of you, but they just don't know.
I've got a thing in mind.
Okay.
Look, obviously we're not health inspectors. That's just the code word that you should have been sent by Mr. Croke, and we're on a busy schedule. We just need to make sure everything's in business. We've been sent here to just have a look and see how everything's doing and go back and report to him because he wanted some eyes in on the place, right? And you should have got the memo.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, feel free to have a look around. Everything's perfectly above board. We're taking all the water. The goblins are working overtime. We're shipping out as fast as we can.
Right. Thank you very much. We're just going to have a little look around. Shouldn't be too long. Going to assume everything's fine.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Thank you very much. If we have any other issues, we will come and talk to you.
Of course. Happy to help.
Right. And I turn around and I walk out of the door with confidence. And I give a sort of like a shoulder, you know when you nod your head in a direction to sort of indicate to someone to come on then, let's go.
Okay.
You know?
I come with you.
There we go.
This is not how I expected this to go.
Okay, you're just gonna walk around, or?
Gonna walk around and try and figure out where they're getting the water from.
Okay, well...
investigation?
Yeah, roll investigation.
Okay. I didn't do too good at that. Got an 8.
Let's roll my investigation and see if it's any better. 7, it's worse.
Right, it's the boy. It's time for Detective Boy.
Okay. So, you do a quick circuit of the room. As I described, so there is the pig pen on your left with 2 quite reasonably healthy-looking piggies. There are the 3 workers on the production line, one loading, one unloading, and one making it move. There is a stack of boxes by the wall just behind this from your current position. The cart, which is being loaded up with spring water, is just pretty much straight ahead of you towards the exit out of here. The lizard folk is leaning against the wall near the cart, overseeing the goblins working the production line. And during your inspection, you notice that just to the left of the pig pen, there is a small dam that is holding back most of the river, just allowing a small trickle underneath. It's literally just about 3 inches of water that's being allowed out. The other side of it is the water is as high as it should be, and there is a small goblin panting away and clearly using some kind of manual hand pump to crank water onto the production line and fill the bottles.
Okay. So,
Can
in
we...
our walking...
Sorry.
Okay.
Can we tell from looking at this dam how difficult it would be to just destroy the dam?
You can tell that it's not super well constructed. You imagine that it would take a bit of a beating, perhaps some kind of explosive or something. Probably burning wouldn't really work given the force of water behind it.
Whilst we're walking around, I want to ask 2 things. One, roughly how big is this place on the inside?
About 150 yards.
Okay, so not massive. And the second thing I want to know is how many people
That's
are
450
in
feet,
here?
by the way.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Sweet.
How many people? There
Yes.
is the manager's office, which contains 1 bugbear. The lizard folk, who is clearly some kind of guard or security guard or maybe even slave driver. There are the 4 goblins working the pump and the production line.
Do the goblins look happy about their current state of affairs?
They look busy
Mm.
and tired.
In a hushed tone, I turn to Thrall and Brilmara and I say, right, here's what I'm thinking. Not a lot of people here. And it seems to be that upper management is based externally. And they don't seem to be getting visitors all that often. So my suggestion would be, unless the goblins feel particularly inclined to stop working here, we job the manager and the lizard folk, and we fuck up this dam, and see what we can do about the rest of the place as well, if there's anything useful here, or if there's any means by which we can completely keep it out of operation.
Well,
How does that sound?
Here's the issue here, as far as I can see it, is we could destroy this dam relatively easily. That's not the difficult part. The difficult thing is stopping someone from just rebuilding it. Because, like, that's the problem, is we could destroy this dam and then, like, 5 minutes later there could be a new dam here. Like, destroying the dam is not a long-term solution
And that
unless we do other things around it.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking we take out the manager and the lizard folk.
Well,
And then liberate the goblins, I guess.
they are just middle management.
They are
I
middle
think
management.
the point Brilmara's making is that they're somebody. If they're just middle management, they can easily be replaced. Someone could easily rebuild this place.
This is the problem, is as soon as someone goes, wait a second, why is the net... Like, they might not be checking in here regularly, but when production here stops, they're going to notice, and it's like...
Okay.
I feel like dealing with this now just tips their hand, you know, they'll come and fix it and they'll be on higher alert.
You make a very
Part
good
of
point.
me thinks we deal with head office.
Yeah.
Like,
I
we want to
think-
deal with the people who are the source of this problem before we
Yeah.
start trying to smash in dams, I think.
Yeah, if we keep up the facade and say that we're finished and just leave, because they'll probably let us just do that. I think when we get to Groybon, see if we know anyone that can help us out with tackling upper management. Probably the PolyArmoury, seeing as it's affecting the business.
Is it affecting the business?
Well, yeah, it's making it really, really difficult to get supplies up and down the river, isn't it?
Yep.
I suppose so. That's actually not a bad idea. Go talk to PolyArmoury head office and be like, look, this is what's going on. How do you suggest we approach this issue?
Start a little bit of corporate warfare.
Only with the boss's permission.
Only with the boss's permission. But that's probably going to be what happens. Okay, let's scoot, I suppose.
Okay, you gonna announce your departure, or?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I suppose we pop back into the manager's office and just, say, everything seems to be in order.
Well,
Keep up the good work.
When you see Mr. Croke, please do let him know that production is going just as it should.
Will do.
We'll be sure to inform him of everything that we have seen today and everything that you've told us. Just keep at it, I suppose.
Thank you. Tell Mr. Croke anything he needs. We'll make sure he's done.
Be sure to let him know.
And I
bounce from
guess
this
you head
joint.
off.
Yeah, that's very burst out, walk out the front door. The cool ass rock music starts playing, and we put on our sunglasses and in slow motion walk back to the car. I think is how that happens.
Okay, you badass walk out of a warehouse in slow motion while
Yeah.
back in black blaze.
Yeah.
And-
Oh my goodness, that's perfect. Thank you for that. That's good.
Right. And you go back to the car, and Thrall is sitting on his Scrytome playing Pigimon Away.
As he does.
Is
he
it getting
does.
particularly hot?
It is, as usual, pretty warm.
Not so much that we need to be worried it's going to imminently explode.
No. Aiden is just tightening the skin on his bodron. Anything you want to do?
As we're back in the car, before we do anything else, I want to do just a nice quick dab and cast Speak with Animals. And
Okay.
I just want to ask Puff, hey, buddy, what's up?
Language of emotion. Pseudo-dragons can't speak, but they can communicate using a limited form of telepathy that allows them to share basic ideas such as hunger, curiosity, or affection. You dab at Puff, and somehow, using its tiny pseudo-dragon tongue, it sort of tuts at you and rolls its eyes. And from Speak with Animals, the emotion that he communicates to you is disapproval, and you get a sense of disappointment as well.
You said last week, didn't you, that the one cantrip I currently can't use is Find Familiar, isn't it?
Yep.
I'm getting a sense here. This is Puff. Puff was brought into my service as was basically earned through eldritch magic, and Puff is not a big fan of the dab magic. Is that a good sense of what's going on?
You can't tell that from anything Puff is communicating with you.
Okay. Well, that's my current working theory. So
It sounds like a pretty likely explanation.
that's all I got right now. So for the
Yeah.
time being, I suppose on we go.
Okay, so where do you want to head to?
I think Groybon would be the good place to head to next. PolyArmoury head office is in Groybon, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
So I think we go to Groybon to drop off Ganley, and then probably a good idea to head straight to Groybon, to PolyArmoury head office, and inform them of the situation.
I suppose you've got the sword as well, so...
We do have the sword as well.
It's a good
And-
excuse to drop off the sword and to also go, is it a good idea for us to smash in a dam?
And
and
you've got that
also-
goal as well.
Yes, we do. And also, we can actually take the opportunity to have a little bit of an explore of Groybon, maybe. Because there were a few things that we
I think there were a lot of things we ignored in Groybon.
Yeah, we missed a lot. So we can go back and make
Okay.
good on
Yep.
that.
Okay. So you head up into the carts and announce to Ganley where you're heading. Oh, that's great. I wasn't imagining that you'd ever give me a lift all the way there, but thanks very much.
Yeah, it's cool, right? No worries about it.
Okay, you hie off the piggies, and they trot off towards Groybon.
Huzzah.
Shortly after, you emerge into the large open cavern of Groybon. The beautiful crystal is showing that it is getting towards twilight, because obviously the light from the above world that scatters through it is getting to that sort of beautiful yellowy colour. And the whole underdark here of Groybon looks like a beautiful sort of twilight amber.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
And you trot along through the busy streets towards PolyArmoury head office and down into their car park, where you unload, you hand over the piggies, and they're looked after there. And Ganley says, "Oh, thanks so much for giving us the lift. So, anytime you need, you hit us up on a Scrytome. I've got one of those."
Yeah, we will do. If we get any leads on where that songbook might be, we will contact you right away.
Thanks very much. I think I'll probably grab myself a drink, see if I can find somewhere that needs a drummer.
That's a good shout. Have a good one.
Good to meet you, friendos.
Good to meet you too.
And Ganley heads off.
Oh, yeah.
You head through into the main PolyArmoury building, are led through the sort of staff hallways. Eventually you are led up to an office, and you find the bugbear that you've previously encountered, that usually is the one that talks to Vendirak over the scrypad.
Is that? Oh, hello. Not seen you in a while.
Yeah, it's been some time. How are things going up in Groybon?
Prosperous as always, very prosperous.
Good.
Lots of people need weapons, even in a town where no one has weapons. Plus, of course, people do like to rather come to the museum.
Indeed. Speaking of the museum, we have something for you, and I suppose...
I believe I have it, so I hand over
Yes.
the very fancy treasure sword.
Oh, goodness.
I know.
Did
look
this
at
come
this.
from Severton? Because I know they'd requested a hash stone for it.
Indeed it
we have
did.
a hash stone with it.
We do, yeah. Hand over the hash stone as well, I suppose.
He takes the hash stone and confirms that it is as this hash stone is. He looks over the hash stone itself to confirm that it is what he thought it was.
Oh, excellent. Oh, Bumble will be incredibly upset.
Anything particularly fun? Because I've just been calling it the fancy treasure sword for a while, so...
Well, you may be aware of Bumbles. They're a chain of department stores or general stores. There's a few of them about. I think there might be one in Mordtown where you were last based. Obviously, there's the big department store here. Well...
Oh! Are they run by, what are they called? Those ones. I feel horribly racist right now.
I'm not going to help you out of this situation.
Oh, please help me
I
out.
don't even know what you mean.
Brilmara.
Nah, I'm honest. I have no
Knowles.
idea what you're on about. What? Oh, Knowles.
Knowles?
Mm.
I don't
Is
recall
that
the Knowles
the warehouse
ever running
we
a
went
shop.
to?
Warehouse? Oddman's you're talking about.
Oh,
Yeah,
ignore me completely
yeah,
then.
No, I had no idea where you were going. That's not Bumbles.
For a jog of your memory, Bumbles was the shop that was run by Honey in Mordtown. The Scottish accented character who got very defensive about the fact that you suggested that they'd been playing music.
So yeah,
There is also a large department store in Groybon that is by the name of Bumbles.
Well, yes, this is belong to Bumble, the original Bumble, of course, owner of the Bumble's department store and the various other stores around. Yes, well, back in the rough and tough days of Groybon, back when what was his name? Back when before band Trollslayer brought unity and harmony, before there was such beautiful place for commerce. Unfortunately, it used to be a little bit rougher, and Bumble was quite known for his sword. He rather did like Slasher. They said it was his prize.
Oh, well, there we go. Glad to have it in PolyArmoury hands then.
Certainly. Then, of course, we'll give you the bounty fee.
And he goes to a safe behind his desk and hits it open and hands you a bag of 50 gold.
Hey, nice one.
I don't suppose you managed to recover anything else from Severton, did you?
There wasn't actually much left there. It was only a few scraps of basically paperwork, and it was far too burnt to really see.
there was $2,000.
Oh shit!
We should
Yeah.
probably acknowledge the $2,000. Yeah,
We also found this giant bag of money.
And you hand over the $2,000.
I forgot about all the money we had.
Very nice to have their takings back. I suppose there wasn't much left of the actual stock.
Fortunately not.
Yeah.
Unfortunately not, sorry.
See, this is the problem with D&D being played over multiple weeks, is that you tend to put, like, one thing sticks in your head and other things don't. Like, I remember the fancy treasure sword.
I reminded you several times about that bag of gold.
You did.
Yeah.
You did.
We're just really bad,
you know,
basically.
It doesn't help when
memory
you
is
don't
fun.
put these things on your character sheets.
I did put the fancy treasure sword on the character sheet.
Okay, well, Prize Slasher is back in the hands of PolyArmoury, which will very much upset Bumble. It will end up, no doubt, in the museum. Was there anything else you wanted to do while you were here?
While we're here,
Yeah.
we need to get your advice, if possible, on dealing with an issue affecting the PolyArmoury chain of commerce, I suppose.
Sounds most sinister. What have you been thinking about that?
So, here's the short version. You know, normally the easiest route to get stuff back, and for us to get stuff back to head office is up the river.
Yes, I had heard there'd been something about that. Something about the ferry staff not being able to get down the river.
Yeah.
Someone asking for some kind of toll or other, saying it was out of commission.
Here's the short version. Nestler Springs, if you know them, the crappy glass bottles of water. They have set up a factory along that river, and basically the river does not work, and they're selling the river water in crappy glass bottles. So, physically getting the water running again wouldn't be the biggest problem in the world. There's a very small dam, you break the dam, water's going to flow again. But the bigger problem is the building in the way on the river that the dam is enclosed within is going to be a bit of a problem for getting the ferry up and down the river. And, multinational corporation, if we destroy that dam, they're just going to rebuild the dam. So, Nestlers are the problem right now with getting stuff up and down the river. My temptation is to say we destroy the Nestlers building, but, that is a big thing for us to do as PolyArmoury. Just checking, is that the way you want us to go with this?
I can't say I'm a terribly big fan of Croke or any of his businesses. His water's basically just tastes of nothing special. I've drunk better out of the river.
From what we can tell, it is literally the water from the river.
That doesn't surprise me. I'm sure he's probably got some perfect explanation about how he's selling us our own river water back.
So yeah, no, what's your thought on us literally just destroying the building?
Nestler Croke is a very powerful man. While I do not like him, it could be very dangerous unless you're going to take him out himself. His company may run or not run without him, hard to say exactly. But I think if you really want to deal with that, I would suggest first of all hiding who you're from.
Yeah?
And by all means go and visit Croke Manor.
Do you know where that is, where we would find Croke?
He gestures over his scrytome for a few moments, and then sort of does a weird sort of flick towards you, and all of your scrytomes buzz slightly.
Ooh.
And your Google map has been updated with instructions on how to find Croke Manor.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Nestler Croke. Of course, nothing to do with the PolyArmoury. I'll tell you what, I'll arrange for the cart park staff to send you out in the black cart. If you're going to be doing shady stuff like this, I'd rather you weren't absolutely advertising it, but obviously do keep your badges in case you meet anyone later on.
This is exciting. It's going to be like a little bit like corporate espionage.
Mysterious mystery mission.
Corporate espionage with more explosions.
Do you have a spell for explosions?
We don't have a spell for explosions, but we are in Groybon, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's somewhere here we can buy explosives of some kind.
Okay, so do you want to... What do you want to do now?
I think what we should do next is have a little bit of an explore, see if we can find anywhere that might sell us things that would be useful for this little mission of ours, and on the way we can find out a little bit more about Groybon.
Okay.
Sort of killing two birds with one stone.
Okay, so you head out into the street and just across the road, really, you see Bumbles, the large department store, which you would imagine would sell most sorts of things.
Yeah.
You head in there. You wander through, obviously, racks of various different types of armour. Some of it's quite fancy and showy. Obviously, some of it's more practical. There's a whole section for spell components. I imagine that it looks a bit like one of those herbalist shops, like those Chinese herbalists with all the different jars
Yeah.
and things.
Okay.
There's sort of a more adventure-y type area where you can buy like different types of pack or water skins, sort of ropes, things like that.
Okay.
Where do you want to head?
I'll find a member of staff. I'll look for the Bumbles uniform.
Okay, you see someone in a brown polo shirt. It looks horribly uncomfortable and unpleasant and cheap and mass-produced. It has a little mustard-coloured embroidered word "Bumbles" just above the left breast, where a pocket would be, but there is no pocket.
The old shit and piss colour scheme. I like it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Excellent. Hello.
Hello. How can I help you?
Sorry. Oh. Hello. Yes. Right.
Are you by any chance working here on your time off from working at Darus?
I think Daddy's only hire slaves. They don't actually pay anyone.
So
How can I help you?
So we're looking for explosives.
Yes, there's a whole selection of explosives just over there. Let me take you over to the counter.
Thank you very
and
much.
they take you over to the munitions counter.
The munitions counter. Oh, I feel like I'm going to enjoy this bit.
So, as a quick question, Astrid, how much cash do we currently have?
At the moment, we do have quite a lot. We got 50 gold as the bounty for the sword, didn't we?
50 gold, yeah.
Yeah. So we currently have 349 gold, 3 silver, and 6 copper. So we're comfortably wealthy at the moment.
We're doing okay
I'd
then.
say. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, welcome to the munitions counter. How can I help you today?
Says the officious-looking drow behind the counter.
Hello. We would like to buy. I suppose the question before that actually is how much are the Molotov cocktails?
Okay, behind the counter you can see a large selection of glass bottles for Molotov cocktails, you may remember. There are bottles of explosive acid grenades and obviously a selection of dynamite or similar stick explosive.
I mean, the dynamite's probably more useful for our mission, but also Molotov cocktails.
You can get both.
Shall we get some of each?
You get some of both.
Yeah, let's get some of both.
How many of each would you like?
How many would you need? Just enough to blow up like a small wall. You know, a small waterproof wall.
2 or 3 should do it nicely.
So, side note, real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Brilmara, here's the sitch, right?
Right.
If we just blow up the dam,
Yeah.
Mr. Croke and his esteemed Nestler brings business might get the impression from a specifically targeted dam destruction that the reason there was an attack on this processing plant was very specifically because people who needed to use the river wanted to get rid of the dam, which means it might give a bit of information regarding the location and possible suspects as...
I hope we're having this conversation very quietly, considering we're in a department
Oh yeah,
store.
we are. Sorry.
So, yeah, I get what you're laying down, but also, if we cave in the whole cave, there's going to be no room for the ferry to get through, because we caved in the whole cave.
Okay, if we just get some Molotov cocktails as well, and maybe torch some bits of the processing machinery, so on and so forth, just to make it look like a non-specific a salt of the processing plant?
I don't know that makes it any more vague, but if that'll make you feel better, sure.
Because it could be scratched up then to just some hooligans who wanted to fuck something up a bit.
Again, I've made my point clear. I don't know that it's
Okay.
going to divert any extra attention away from us, but if you want to do it, sure.
Okay. In any case, I kind of maybe just want to buy some Molotovs so I can have fun with them. And if we're going to be assaulting the place anyway, then, it might help, it might not, but it'll be fun, I guess. Okay, yeah. So, how much, was it 2 or 3 sticks of dynamite you said would do the job?
I would think that would be sufficient to do the job, yes.
Excellent. How much per stick of dynamite?
12 gold.
12 gold? Okay, so that's 36 for 3 sticks?
That's correct, yes. Did you want anything else? I have a good range of Molotov cocktails.
How much are the Molotov cocktails?
3 gold each.
Ooh, that's pretty good. Can we get 3 sticks of dynamite and 3 Molotov cocktails?
Absolutely. Would you like them gift wrapped?
Of course. Of course I would. How much is that?
It's an extra 1 gold.
Oh, that's fine then. Yeah, go ahead.
And he carefully puts your dynamite and your Molotov cocktails into a fancy pink box and ties some ribbon around it and puts a little bow on the side of the box.
Would you like to fill out a special greeting cards we can attach to the box?
I think that's fine. I think that we will give them our greetings in person.
As you decide. Thank you very much for shopping at Bumbles today. Is there anything else I can help you with?
I think that'll be all, actually. Thank you very much. You've been very helpful.
It's always a pleasure to serve. Bumbles is here for your every need.
Thank you. Have a good day. I suppose we
You
leave
too.
Bumbles.
Okay, are you taking the money out?
Oh, yes, sorry.
Please, for goodness sake, add those to your character sheets.
Yes, I will. I will add them and then I will just detract the cash.
Okay, what do you want to do now that you've purchased your explosives?
So, I think the best thing to do would be to put the explosives back in our cart.
You head back to the PolyArmoury head office,
Mm-hmm.
and down in the garage you see the garage attendant, and they confirm that they've been authorised to send you out with quote-unquote the black cart.
Nice.
Which is a plain matte black cart, almost exactly the same design as the other one, does not have any PolyArmoury markings on it. The piggies are of the black piggy variety rather than the more pinky, or actually the piggies down here tend to be almost white due to the lack of sunshine. But these are piggies with slightly more melanin.
Stealth piggies.
These are your stealth piggies, yes. And they look a little bit more sort of rough and ready. One of them has a pierced ear.
Have they got little action bandanas on?
Yes.
Oh my goodness!
Naturally.
Yes, I'm okay with this. Right. Now that we've deposited the explosives in a safe location where we can't drop them and blow everything up, do we want to go... Brilmara, do we want to go on the mission now, or do we want to have a bit more of an explore of Groybon and then go on the mission, just in case we find anything that might be convenient?
Do you mind re-giving us the rundown of what's in Groybon? Because you gave it to us once in a previous episode and we completely just ignored like 90% of what you said, so...
Pretty much. There's a number of street vendors, so you can get pretty much every kind of food from anywhere over the world.
Mm-hmm.
There are all number of different types of beings here, from kobolds, orcs, goblins, bugbears, nothics, imps... even some elves and humans, though very few and far between. Plenty of drow and gnolls. The places you previously passed were the Oyster Cart Company, Groybon Library, the Nestler's very posh looking store with the sort of very minimalist, just like 6 or 7 bottles of Nestler Spring on a single shelf, all very brightly white lit, lots of glass and steel, all very clean and corporate. It looked more like a fashion statement than an actual shop.
Yeah.
You also passed the sort of rundown shack that was the High Elves, which was being guarded originally by a gnoll. There's Bumbles, There's a huge 2-story Darrow's if you fancy getting some lunch.
Oh, nice.
That isn't, people meat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was about it. That was of importance.
Okay.
I kind of want to go to the Big Darrows because it's been a while since
Same.
we've had a Darrows visit.
Let's go to the Big Darrows. And let's
Awesome,
sit
let's
in the
have-
top floor by a window so we can look down on everyone. It'd be really, really cool.
Yeah, and you can look out watch the comings and goings over Groybon. Okay, so you head in, you see the elf behind the counter, as usual, an elf that's been captured and imprisoned, wearing the standard Darrow's uniform. This one is named Clint. He is a level 2 grill wizard,
Nice.
and he greets you. Hello, welcome to Darrow's. How can I help you today?
Hello. What do you fancy, Brilmara? I'm thinking some gluttony meals, as usual. What are your thoughts?
I think gluttony meals are a great idea because I want to get some of them lovely capsules.
Do you want
Okay,
what?
one of each?
One of each.
Yeah, one of each. War Chief Burger, like always.
Yep, sounds good to me.
Cool. 3 War Chief Burger gluttony meals, please.
Would you like dessert with that?
Sure.
Oh, go on then, yeah.
18 silver then, please.
Cool, sorted.
And he hurries about getting your meal. They seem to be much more efficient here. It's like obviously working in the big city. They're expected to work to a higher standard. They're not allowed to shamble like you would find Chris back in Mordtown. They have to be more sort of efficient and swift. He hurries about. He gets you your meal, prepares it on a tray. What capsules would you like today?
One of each. One of each.
One of each. Go on then, yeah, one of each.
And Clint gets you your capsules, one of each, and points you to a big sign on the door on the wall that says, "Do not open red capsules within the store. Thank you, the management."
Okay, well, other than the red capsule, which is it? The yellow one that contains figures?
It's green.
Oh, the green. Okay, can I give the green one to Thrall and be like, yes, this one's for you?
Thrall looks very excited and gives you a little kiss.
It's just.
It has been a little while, hasn't it?
And-
It's just a roll 20 for a d20 for that, isn't it?
And you head upstairs with your meals and find yourself a nice seat by the window. And while you sit and pick over your meals and open your capsules, we're going to start with green, yes?
Yeah. So we'll see what Thrall gets from the green. 1.
Thrall opens the capsule up, and inside there is a small, badly painted resin figure of a small, crouching kobold with a green dot on his chest.
A kobold!
Wait. A small crouching kobold with a green dot on his chest.
Yes.
Is Thrall's necklace green?
It is. Well, the symbol on it is painted green. The stone of it is actually light grey.
Oh my goodness, it's a tiny Thrall!
I'm trying not to think too hard about the in-world implications of that.
Oh my goodness, it's a tiny Thrall. I don't know how I feel about this.
So, assuming that there's nothing sinister going on, that's quite an adorable moment for Thrall to get a tiny little toy of themselves.
He's very happy. And he starts playing with all of his characters together. Let me put that on his
I'm
sheet.
just gonna try not to think too hard about that right now because I have zero. Like, assuming that this is a thing in world and someone has watched Thrall enough to make a figure of them that gets sold at a big food chain, I'm like, we have no clues to solve that problem yet, so I'm just not gonna face it for now.
Let's just not think about that too much.
Okay, so do you want to open the yellow one?
Yes. 19.
Nice.
Inside the little yellow capsule, you find a small keyring with the Darrow's logo on it, and written across it is Darrow's Fried Rat. If you had any keys, you could attach your keys to this.
Oh, do we have any keys?
No.
Yeah,
You
we
used
don't
to have
have
keys
keys.
to the shop for Mordtown,
But
but
we don't
you don't
live
work
there
there
now.
anymore, so you don't
Have
work
we
in that store.
Have we slept recently?
I imagine you've been taking it in turns to sleep on the road, really.
Ah, yeah, that probably makes a lot of sense.
So you have your meals.
Yeah, we have our meals. Constitution checks, right?
Yeah.
Constitution save, isn't it?
Yep.
6. Oh.
You do not get a point of inspiration, and you feel a little bit crazy from all the grease.
Yum.
Yum, 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 yum.
Thrall will also make a Constitution saving throw. That's a really good Constitution saving throw.
Heck yeah.
That was a Dexterity
Boy.
save. Whoops. Oh, God,
It's even better. 23. The,
Yeah.
the boy polishes off his meal and starts eyeing up your fries.
Of course he does.
Brilmara?
16 on Constitution.
Excellent. You enjoyed your meal, and as a result, you get a point of inspiration.
Hooray! I will put that in the thing.
It's been a little while, so my tolerances are low. Let's just say that.
All the grease.
Greasy, greasy.
As you sit there finishing your meal, you casually look out over Groybon, and you can see the library in the distance. You notice there seems to be some risen incline just on the outskirts of town. The bright in the last couple of hours, obviously the sun's gone down above ground, which means the crystal's now not filtering the light from above into the city. So it's all quite dark. It's just lit by street lamps and so forth, and it looks quite beautiful and twinkly from your vague vantage point here. And you can see sort of off into the distance that there are the lights get sort of further and further apart as you're heading into the suburbs of Groybon. And it's all sort of quite beautiful that far out. Nearer, it's all very bright and garish. And you notice not far along one of the streets a huge building, very brightly lit, lots of neon colours. If this was the real world, it would all be fluorescent tubes and lit like that, like Piccadilly Circus.
Oh, yeah.
And there you see a large building, and on the front of the building it announces itself with a picture of a large, with an image lit up of a large lute. Multiversal music.
Ooh.
And it particularly catches your eye as one of the more large and garish and brightly lit buildings.
I'll be honest, kind of curious about what's inside. Do you want to have a look, Brilmara?
Let's go have a look. This seems like a place we should probably go.
Let's go. Let's have a little gander.
Okay,
It's-
so after dinner you head out into the streets and head towards multiversal music. Outside of the building you notice that there are a few security guards, but there also seems to be a large line of people with various musical instruments about their person, queuing up, trying to get in through one door. And to one side you see images of the 2 orcs and their bugbear that you encountered from Fairy Forest.
Oh, shit.
Announcing that tonight, auditions for underdark talent. With the orcs are named as Sunny and Emmy, and their bugbear is called Piers.
Oh, fucking hell. Jane!
We need to
Right.
call someone and tell them where their book is.
Okay, so you're going to call Ganley?
Yeah, let's call Ganley.
Yep.
Okay, so you look up Aiden in the book. There are a lot of Ganleys in the book. Big family.
I very much enjoyed this.
You find Aiden and gesture. You see the blue lights disappearing off into the distance. And eventually Ganley's face floats into view. Hey there, how's it going? It's not been so long since I spoke to you. How are you doing?
Where?
Yeah, little time no see. We think we know.
We might know where your book is.
Really? Where's that?
Well, we've spotted the people that we saw with your book,
Right.
and they might be putting on some kind of auditions for an underground talent show.
Who the bloody hell's that?
You know anything about Underdark's Got Talent?
Right, those bastards.
Yeah,
Yeah, they nicked your book,
they
friend.
got your book.
They've been destroying the music industry for bloody ages.
Well, thankfully, they're right here in Groybon.
Thanks very much for the heads up. I might need to get a few more of the family involved in this. It's going to take a lot to take down multiversal music.
If you need any help, just give us a shout, yeah?
Thanks very much, friendo.
I am sure that anything we can do to go go help you deal with these people, particularly Pierce the bugbear. Bugbear. Let us know.
Thanks very much. Listen, I owe you one, so let me know if there's anything I can do for you in return, right?
Will do.
Absolutely, will do. Oh, actually, now that you mention it,
Aye?
if we help you out with taking these guys down, will you help us out with a tactical operation?
What you need?
Have you got any black clothes?
I'm sure I could get hold of some.
Have you got the capacity to get hold of a black mask?
Pretty sure I can find one. One of the family around here will have something.
Excellent. We are going to go pay a little visit to Mr. Croke of Nestler Springs fame and sort him out, if you catch my drift.
I don't, but whatever. Happy to help.
We're going to go shopping. We need a little bit of assistance.
Grumptious nippers. Right. You're going to need a bit of help. I hear that place is a fucking fortress.
Well, if we help you, hopefully you can help us.
That guy's super rich. He's going to have a lot of guards there. But sure, I'll help however I can.
Excellent. Looks like we got a manor to storm.
So, you heading off there now? Okay.
Head out on the road.
You follow the directions you have on your shiny, or should I say entirely matte, cart. The black cart heading towards Croke Manor.
Indeedy.
Are you going right up to the doors? Are you going to take a more stealthy approach, analyse the area first, or...?
I think analyse the area, get like a little bit of a tactical awareness going on so we can plan our attack. Or our infiltration, probably.
You pull up the cart a little bit along the road. There is a large long road, a large long private driveway that goes up to Croke Manor. But you pull off the road a little bit before that and start to do a little bit of a reconnaissance around the grounds. In your stealthy through there, you notice that there are a number of bugbears patrolling the area. Mm-hmm. And as you're making your way, you catch a glimpse of some kind of multicoloured fur.
That's odd.
The building itself appears to be a very large sort of manor house, lots of unnecessary pillars and large open windows. There's lots of very long lawns. You have no idea how they run a lawn in the Underdark.
Yeah,
there's some fancy topiaries. Clearly there is a lot of money to be spent on keeping this place looking like some kind of fancy above ground mansion.
This is bawdy as fuck. So, sorry, you mentioned a glimpse of multicoloured fur.
Yep.
Where?
In the bushes, not far from you.
Can I make a perception check?
Yeah, you can investigate, you can try and perceive if you like. I've already said what your basic perception will get you, but if you want to focus more on that.
No.
Anyone else?
Thrall's gonna have a little gander.
I will have a gander as well.
Oh, no.
Eights for you two?
3!
And a 3!
Oh, no. Hey!
Okay, so with your perception, you see no more than what I've already told you you'd seen. A glimpse of
multicoloured fur.
Of multicoloured fur.
I'm not too sure about that. I don't know what that is, and Brilmara, what are you thinking?
I am thinking that most of the ways that I would have found out more information, I currently can't do, and as such, you say multicoloured fur. Can I do a nature check to see if I recognise any creature that might have multicoloured fur like that?
Sure.
Oh yeah, good shout.
Natural 20.
Hey.
Not a natural colour, but it's the fur, the way it lies, and the sort of stealthy nature of this creature. Do you think it might be some kind of lynx?
Multicoloured lynx.
Oh shit! I think I know who that
Who
is.
do you think that is?
That's our little raver friend. What was the name of our raver friend again?
You don't know. You never asked. There was a halfling that had a rainbow-coloured battle lynx. If that's the one you're talking about.
Yeah, that's who we're on about.
Yep.
You knew the name. You knew the name of the lynx. That was Snomington Pawsworth.
I think we were all a bit high that night to remember to ask things like,
I think
"What
at
was
that,
your
I think,
name?"
yeah. I think at this point I like the idea that we all go, is that Sir Normington
I
Pawsworth?
think that
And
might
you hear-
be.
And you hear a...
Oh,
Hey, what
hey, you alright?
you doing here?
And Sir Normington peeks through the undergrowth at you and gives you a bit of a squint. And you see that he's got sort of teary eyes.
What's
what's
wrong, Sir
wrong?
Normington?
Can you speak
Oh,
with
I can
wait.
speak with animals because it's a cantrip. I still have those. I do a dab towards Sir Normington in order to activate speak with animals.
Sir Normington says, Mistress stolen.
By who?
Badman. Bugbear.
Oh.
In-house.
Oh shit, we're breaking someone out as well.
Da, da, da.
Okay. This is now a multifaceted operation.
Well, I think we'll leave it there for this week.
Oh shit, cliffhanger.
That is quite the cliffhanger.
Ooh. Thank you very much for joining us. Laura, where can we find you throughout the week?
You can find me pretty much everywhere at Laura K Buzz on Twitter, Laura K Buzz on YouTube, laurakbuzz.com. Other than that, you can find me Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 at kotaku.co.uk. Yeah, this is probably the places to find me.
And Astrid, where are you?
If you like a side of fried communism with your video games, you can go to jaffameister.com. That's JAFFAMEISTER.com, where all of my content's available, including the aforementioned communism in video games. That's a lot of my personal content. I do written and video of me violently mashing communism into video games and talking about how it makes sense. Keep an eye out for videos that you can also keep an eye out for if you go to youtube.com/Jaffameister. On jaffameister.com, though, you can also find all of my freelance content, which I do for gamesindustry.biz, Waypoint, and The Morning Star occasionally. And also all of my Indiehaven stuff, which you can also find at indiehaven.com for all things indie. I am the editor-in-chief, and I do video stuff, news shenanigans, all kinds of interesting little features, mostly about gay stuff. It's it's pretty great. And you can also find me on Twitter at Jaffameister, spelled the same as the website, where I talk about all of the above, and you should totally follow me and retweet my things and say hi and all that jazz. And that's it.
And I can be found at stonemonkeyradio.blog, which is a congregation of all of my things. I can be found on YouTube as Maniac Janiac or Silly Pook Monster. If you search for one, you'll find the other. It was a dark time. You can also find me on SoundCloud as Jane Eris Magnets, and Twitter as Maniac Janiac, and at the PolyArmoury SMR. That's ARMOURY. Thank you very much to everybody who entered the competition. I will be editing in, around now, the winner. So congratulations to insert winner here. At Aquarian Full on Twitter, Barbara Nicole Pitts. Thank you very much for your amazing picture of Mistress Illyriana. And we all particularly enjoyed your rendering of an illusory butt. We all complimented that it was particularly good butt. Excellent butting there. Well done. So, yes, hit me up on Twitter DM, and I will arrange to get your copy of A Hat in Time to you. We thank you for everyone who entered, and thank you very much for joining us. Join us again sometime. Bye.
Bye.
Toodles. Oh my goodness, that is a very good Bart. That's adorable and I love it. Oh yeah, I should stop recording.